Okay, I think the recording will start soon. It says there, so let's
Yeah.
just get going. Hey, Keenan, thanks for coming on, man. Like I said, this is gonna be a kind of like just making something from nothing. We're just gonna be talking for a couple of minutes. I got four things I want to talk to you about, really. Um,
I'm sure you have more than four, but okay.
I got a million kind of shit to talk to you about, man. But you know what?
First
Okay,
of all,
so
first of all, can I just say I like your background with the Liverpool towel and the Cape Town and everything. Don't you think mine is symbolic? Like it's
I
just
think maybe
barren.
it's empty because I think that's just how most United
It's
fans
barren,
feel
yeah.
like. No,
Is
but
it
for
a
real,
blank
like again,
canvas? Is it a blank canvas for Ten Hag, or is it just barren, a barren wasteland? That's what being a United fan is these days.
well, the thing is, the way I kind of like see it, right? There's been a lot going on in the press like recently, and like I do feel for the brand. I think it's a difficult, it's a difficult club, period, right? It's been a club that's really been it's really not really been living up to its standards post the Fergie era. I mean, there's been like moments under Mourinho where I was like, okay, this is going somewhere, and then it just never. There's all this kind of like false dawns and stuff like that. And I think the last year there's been good ideas behind it, but I don't know if they've been following through with it. Like for example, Ralph Ragni coming on board, giving his input and consulting on how, not just from the player's perspective, but obviously from the top to the bottom. But I don't know if those things have been yeah, listened to. I mean, what are your thoughts on that now with Eric Ten Hag coming into the club, where the state, yeah, what is the state of United now, basically? What are
So
your
I
thoughts?
think I think that like the ownership, as they say, the fish rots from the head down, and that's very applicable with United because the ownership has been in absentia. They've been complacent, and I mean they've just been fucking leeching us for the last 17 years. They're the only owners in the Premier League who take a dividend, right?
Yeah.
Publicly listed company. Only owners who take a dividend, a regular dividend. So far, they've taken out about 160 or 180 million pounds. Okay, no other owner of a Premier
Just
League
take
club
out, not putting
takes
anything
dividend.
back, just taking it out. Wow.
Just
Okay.
taking, yeah. They've never invested any of their own money into they bought it. So it was a leveraged buyout. Remember?
Mm-mm-mm.
And they got help with Lehman Brothers or Goldman Sachs. I can't remember, but that's how Ed Woodward ended up as the CEO because he helped them.
Broker
Yeah,
the
he
deal.
came from Goldman
Okay.
Sachs. Yeah, Richard Arnold as well. So they came into the Premier League. They came into England. These cowboy American, you know, they they were allowed to buy the club and saddle it with enormous debt. Now this isn't like a small little club somewhere in like the heartland of England somewhere. This is
Mm.
Manchester United. This is one
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
world's greatest sporting institutions, and they put
Mm.
it into peril from day one. The debt has not budged. They've even taken out loans to pay off the debt. That's how bad things have gotten. So that's also why it's not an attractive investment at the moment because the club isn't really generating a lot of revenue. United was a trailblazing club in the 2000s with its commercial revenue, like attracting commercial partners from all quarters of the globe,
Mm.
different industries. But a lot of Premier League clubs have caught on to that and are not doing that, are doing better than United are doing. I think the revenue from commercial endeavors has stagnated for the past 6 years or so. The share price has plummeted. If you had purchased shares in 2012 when United listed on the New York Stock Exchange, if you bought £1,000 worth of shares, it'll be worth £852 today. And
Wow.
that's reflective of how terrible they run the business, Glazers.
That's insane because
So
I always thought that was the one kind of area of the last let's say 20 years or so, at least from when the Premier League started. United was one of the first clubs who really trailblazed the whole idea of a brand. I mean, you just only have to look at your badge, right? Because Manchester United Football Club, before they dropped the football club because it was like, it's more than a football club. It's a brand. And I could almost kind of like sit back and watch with envy how everyone wanted to come and to come there, to come and be with you guys, come and play for you. It was the top club in the world, the best football stadiums, facilities, training, coaches. I mean, it was best in class in every area. I don't
Yeah, well,
necessarily feel the same these days, but yeah.
United is a massive club. Okay, like it's a huge, huge club in terms of its fan base, in terms of its reach. I think we have like almost a billion fans, or like a billion subscribers or something on social media channels. But that doesn't mean that it's a well-run business in
Mm.
terms of like how we've capitalized on that popularity. The only, remember, Ed Woodward said on an investor call, I think around 2016 or so, that we're able to do things in the market that other clubs can only dream of, and we don't necessarily need to be successful on the pitch to be successful off it. So the writing was on the wall, you know.
Yeah.
You say it's more than a football club; it's a brand. I would love for it to be a football club again. You know what? The reason that we don't have Jurgen Klopp and that Liverpool has Jurgen Klopp is because Ed Woodward met him for dinner and tried to sell him on the Manchester United project, and he told him it's like Disneyland for adults.
Wow.
And Jurgen Klopp went away and thought to himself, "I don't want to manage fucking Disneyland. I want to manage a football club." So
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
Wow. Wow.
exactly. So
Wow.
so it's been a deterrent, but just the bottom, the long, the short of it, they're terrible owners. They're
Mm.
terrible, terrible owners. It's
Yeah.
such a poorly run company, let alone football club. Forget about the football side of things, just the business side of things. They're not
Mm.
very good. It's a myth that their strengths were commercial and Ed Woodward is good at breaking deals and all this. It's just, you have to look at like the value of it now. It's everything that could have gone wrong, that they could have done wrong, they've done. And
So,
there's no like enterprising brains there to go like, you know what, this is the way to go. There's no pioneering spirit even on the commercial side, because
yeah.
all the other clubs are doing way better. City doing way better. They've got like technological partners now.
Mm.
Um,
You guys are
United
still
used to,
playing catch up in Thailand. No,
yeah,
but for
but I
real,
mean,
but
like
for real.
we've got um, TeamViewer as our shirt sponsors. Like, who is TeamViewer? Have you ever used TeamViewer?
No.
And they're not renewing it, by the way. So we're gonna have to like put that out to pitch again
Wow.
after 2 years or so when the deal ends. They've got Tezos as its training kit partner. I don't know what that is either. They've got some DHC sleeve partner logo thing.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I
yeah, yeah.
understand. Look, I I am kind of in that world in my personal life. I work for a commercial partner of the Premier League Football Club. So I work
Mm.
directly with the football club. I
Mm.
understand the value
Yeah.
of the brand leverage. So I'm not one of those fans that goes, "Oh, we should stop with all the fucking commercial stuff and focus on the football." I understand that we need both to have synergy.
Yeah.
But I mean, the reason why we're not the force we are is several factors, mainly because we've got shit owners, as I've said, but also like on the football side of things, United like woke up way too late about the director of football role.
Mm.
Like we only appointed one last year or 2 years ago, John Murto, and he has a background in youth football. He was like he was actually brought in by David Moyes
Oh,
as
wow.
yeah, he was like the head of football operations for the academy,
Okay.
and then he was promoted to football director.
So
And
there,
you can
there is
describe,
a football person. There is a football person at United at the moment, right? That's kind of if I look at it like that, because that's always been the kind of argument I kind of hear coming out of from Old Trafford, that yeah, okay, you know what, they don't have football people in, but John Murtaugh is a football person with a history at the club. So how could, yeah, like that's the thing that baffles me, man. It's like I hear everything you say, and yes, it makes complete sense, but on the other hand as well, it's like the other clubs have obviously have kind of like left and overtaken United a little bit. I mean, just look at City, for example. I mean, I can honestly say, when I look at City, the infrastructure over there. Look, I'm not going to pretend to say I know everything about Manchester City, but I certainly get the feeling there that the people who are working there are really the best people in the industry.
Look,
There's
I there's a massive caveat when you're talking about clubs like Manchester City and PSG and Newcastle. These are
true,
owned by nation states, and this is
true.
like complete sports washing. So I don't want to lay praise on clubs like that, because that is darkness of another kind.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But you're right in that they have people in charge that know what they're doing. They've got Pep Guardiola's working with Tiki Bergestrein, who was his director of football at Barcelona.
Big man
Um,
things, man.
and they have, yeah, exactly. They had him like set up when Pep came in already. They had everything prepared for Pep when he started the job. Um, the thing about Manchester City is like they're a nation state, and they're like, they're trying to soften their image and whatnot, but they've invested like over £600 million into the club of their own money. I'm
Mm,
just comparing it to, like, that's the owners investing their own money into the football club. They invested, and the Glazers haven't invested a cent. They've taken money out. If you look at the chart of like investment, City is right at the top. United like recedes. The graph goes left instead of right.
wow.
So, and this is the thing that I don't understand about rival fans trying to like counter argue, saying, yeah, but you're spending, are you bidding €100 million on XYZ, and you spent like loads of money on this player and that player. We have spent £1 billion on players. You're right
You have,
about that.
you have.
Yes, but it's not the owner's money. It's the club's money that the club has generated. That's the difference.
Okay.
Old Trafford's
Okay.
roof is literally leaking. The roof is literally leaking. Journalists complain that there's no Wi-Fi. Um, the club's like everything about the club, like the stands, the concourse, everything is from another time. Carrington,
Mm,
which was once like cutting edge 20 years ago, has like stagnated. It's now a thing of the past. Like other clubs, smaller clubs have way better facilities than United do. These are like areas of investment that's important. The youth team setup as well. United's academy just won the FA Youth Cup, which is good, but there needs to be a lot more investment in things around the club, not just the first team, not just transfers. You know
mm,
what I mean?
mm,
And like
mm,
that's the
mm,
issue. The Glazers don't give a shit about any of that. They're
mm,
now
mm.
selling a small stake of the club to like whoever, like a private equity, whatever. Word of the street is that they want that money in order to fund some kind of refurbishment or expansion of Old Trafford, because that's what they promised the fans. And like United fans, especially match-going fans in Manchester, have always protested against the Glazers. They've never been popular because, like, they bought the club, they bought it on the bookie, like
Mm.
they bought it on credit, and they haven't
Yeah.
paid back the fucking. They've saddled it with debt, which they never paid down,
Well,
and
well,
it's
it's funny you
it's
mentioned
it's
you mentioned
astounding.
protest. It's funny you mentioned protest, because obviously just coming back to the game now, because I think that's what I wanted to also talk to you about, the whole game tomorrow night, and I was reading a little bit that they were like, yeah, the United fans are going to protest, maybe even try to shut the game down, and I was like, well, look, I mean, I almost feel like that's almost every season. Every season that there's a protest happening now,
The the
then
protest that
they have a
took
good
place.
run of results. United fans are all quiet, they're happy, they're appeased, they sound Ronaldo, and then all the United fans again, they toe the company line, they sit there, they wait, and then they hope and they pray that this season is going to be. What what is before you start this season? What was your hope for this season? Knowing, for example, Erik ten Hag was going to come in, the amazing work that he did at United. Like let's take the transfer window for now aside because there's still 10 days and a lot can happen. But what was your hope going into the season for this season with ten Hag coming in?
I was excited that we got one of the most promising coaches in football, in European football. I think like the reason why I preferred him as opposed to Mauricio Pochettino is because I think Pochettino is on the kind of on a bit of a downward curve, whereas Ten Hag is on the upward curve. Like there's more to come from him. So
Yeah,
you want to get the guy who's going to be like one of the best coaches in the world in 3 to 5 years, which I think
yeah.
we've got. Um, but I mean, like, it's gonna take time, and he's gonna make mistakes. So I'm fully
Mm,
behind Ten Hag. I trust his brain. But like, that's the thing, though. Like, he's fucked no matter what because United. We've got 10 days left in the transfer window, and we're acting like some idiot guy on Christmas Eve who needs to do his last minute Christmas shopping. Like, what?
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jingle All the Way. That's what
Yeah,
United is every. Come on, do
yeah,
it, man.
exactly.
Do it. Come on, do it.
But serious, like that's the thing. Like we don't look when Ferguson left. That's when we should have gotten a director of football and someone who knows exactly what they're doing. There's plenty of guys out there. We kept on promoting from within, and Ed Woodward was doing like buying players and negotiating deals. Him and Matt Judge, and there was confusion about like now that they've got John Murtough in place, Darren Fletcher is technical director. What's the difference there? Some people are saying like, who do you call if you want to do a deal with United? Do you call John Murtough? Do you call Richard Arnold? Like, there's confusion, and the Glazers have never, they've never like spoke, they've never given clarity. They did one interview, and that was post that Super Club fiasco because they had to, and
Hmm.
that's when the game got called off with Liverpool was because of
Yeah.
the Super Club, the Super League. And that was United fans not protesting that the fact that we were shit and we were going to lose to Liverpool. Probably we probably could have gotten something from that game, but it was the fact that the Glazers are fucking greedy bastard leeches,
Mm.
and the Super League was to in America they don't there's no one gets relegated, and no one gets relegated from the NFL or Major League Baseball. So it's
Yeah,
all
there's
these
no jeopardy.
franchises.
There's no jeopardy, right?
That and that is not what sports is about, right? There has to be stakes.
Absolutely.
If you don't perform better than the other teams, then you have to make way for another team that will. So yeah, like it was I mean it wasn't just the Glazer, it was Florentino Perez who was like spearheading that thing. But that really, really, really like just tipped the scale. And I wouldn't be surprised. There are going to be more protests tomorrow night for sure.
Mm.
There was even talk of like an empty Old Trafford, like fans just boycotting the stadium. But
Well, that would
like
fit.
there's various supporters trusts, and when you say like United fans don't protest after a while, they toe the company line, dude. Like that's not the case. Like every match at Old Trafford has some kind of anti-Glazer sentiment. Like
Mm. Okay.
United fans at Old Trafford do not like that family, and they want them to fuck off, basically. Um,
Well, I can certainly say looking from the outside. I mean, I was always under the false impression, right, that they spent money. I never knew that they never spent their own money. And so when people don't spend their own money, they are a lot less careless. They are a lot more. Yeah, they're careless.
they didn't even
Um,
buy the fucking club with their own money.
yeah.
And this is
So
what and the Premier League allowed this. And when this happened, United fans protested. They didn't want this to happen because we knew that this was going to be bad for us. Like you can't just saddle us with 500 million pounds of debt to buy the
mm,
club. Like what the fuck,
mm,
you know?
okay.
And that debt is not budged. So it's gonna take years to get out of this mess that we're in because of the Glazer. And there's a law now in the Premier League that prohibits this kind of thing from happening.
Oh
No more
gosh.
leverage buyouts. Like it's called the Glazer law or something. But why wasn't it
Wow.
like why wasn't it why were they allowed to do it in the fucking first place? And again, like I don't mean to suggest that Manchester United has some divine right to anything, but this really, like, they did not protect the club at all with this type of thing. And this could ruin the English game if United collapse, which could be possible if some,
Let me
let's
just
say
say
United
you
get
in the
relegated.
relegation zone at the moment, Keenan.
Exactly. I promise you, Siraj, I do not, I really don't think it's impossible for United to get relegated.
Nah, come
That
on,
could
come
happen.
on.
United
No,
got United got relegated 6 years after winning the European Cup.
totally different time. No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
But that's,
Okay.
Siraj,
It'll be
I
funny
know.
as
Like,
hell, but I don't think it's going to happen,
no,
Keenan.
I look, I don't, deep down, I don't think it will happen because we were absolutely rubbish last season. We still finished sixth within the Europa League spots. That's because it's the era of the super club, right? Like all the rich clubs, they're too big to fail in a way.
Yeah.
So, but I honestly, like, if it's not beyond the pale of belief, is that the saying, that like a club like United could erode and like
Mhm.
become uh, much smaller thing, and things like clubs like Liverpool could overtake in terms of its fan base and all of that stuff. But like, that would be so bad for the English game because Manchester United has this enormous reputation in football,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they should have been protected from this kind of thing. And like every club should be protected from this kind of thing.
Mm. Well, look, I mean, like I think certainly look, it's a new era. You've got Richard Arnold in, I mean, you've had John Mota, you've got Erik ten Hag in the club. Um, I think he mentioned that y'all should judge him at the end of his at this transfer window. Um, I think just quickly on the transfers, if we can just maybe talk on that for a couple of minutes. Say hi to Juliet. but but I think okay, if I look at the transfers so far and the transfers that are coming in, there was certainly a very bold Frankie de Jong is gonna be the one that's gonna take everything to us for the next level, right? It was this kind of let's build around him. Now I I don't know what happened with the Frankie de Jong thing. I mean, I can understand why. If he didn't want to play for United, he probably would have said that, like, listen, I want to play Champions League, I won't come, right? But somehow there must have been hope given. There must have been conversations where he was like, I will come if these things and these things are met. So why is that deal falling apart then? Why do you think that? Because that's
But
how I see it. He was the linchpin. He was going to be the one that set it all off, and everybody else was going to be
yeah,
flying in and kind of like be around it. That's the strategy I believed, or what I could see
he
from it.
was he was target number one for Ten Hag all summer. United agreed a fee with Barcelona. Remember, like, Barcelona's also been dirty. They've been
They did mess up.
absolutely dirty this last couple of years. Like, they've been running themselves into the ground, and they're never going to pay the debts that they have. Like, it's crooks and that's crookery. Like, football is awash with just dirty, dirty
That's
bastards.
financial doping, like on
It's all of
so
it.
many levels. So many
It's
levels.
just,
Yeah.
like, as an aside, um, Anthony Joshua had a fight last night with some Ukrainian guy. He lost, and it was in Saudi Arabia. Gianni Infantino, president of FIFA, was seen with Mohammed bin Salman there schmoozing. So I promise you, there's gonna be a World Cup in Saudi at some point, and it's all just, and so they just sent a woman to jail for 34 years for some tweets that she was tweeting. And these types, like, it's a wash with really bad, evil people. Sorry. Hello.
Hi, Julian. How are you?
You can't hear you. Got my headphones on. Say hello, uncle.
Hello, Julian.
Wait, wait, wait.
You
That's
are on
Uncle
our little
Siraj.
video that we're recording. This is the first time you and your daddy and I are talking about this. This for the world to see. This is going to be for you when you grow up, son. One day you
Yeah,
can watch this conversation again.
future United fan over here. It'll be much better by the time he's my age.
I believe that. I believe that. It was only 10 years ago. Let's quickly switch it up to the derby quickly
Yeah.
for a second, right?
But
Because
but
you
no, no, no,
also
wait. I'm not done with the whole.
bring it on, bring it on,
You
bring it
asked
on.
you
Bring it
asked
on.
me about the transfer window. So
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
Barcelona have acted appallingly with their players, especially with Frankie De Jong. They're forcing him out. Laporte keeps saying, "Oh, we love him, want him to stay. He's amazing." Um, but that is code for if he wants to stay, he's going to need to reduce his enormous wages. They owe him 17 million pounds in deferred wages because of the pandemic. So a lot of people were saying like that was the holdup. Like he didn't want to leave Barcelona because he was still owed a lot of money.
Of
Fair
course.
enough. But United and Barcelona agreed a fee. This was in July. And then nothing happened. Nothing from the player. Frank de Jong said nothing. And that's when I was like, this deal is not going to happen because obviously he doesn't want to go to United. There's just like no desire. But we kept on hearing reports of the club, like wanting to, pursue and pursue and pursue, and it's his number one target, and Ten Hag really wants him, and like, there's a belief that they might still get him. And then Chelsea came to the fore. They've got a new ownership. Todd Bowley, their new American owner, is like playing football manager with them, but he's making good decisions, and he's gonna lure. He could lure Frank De Jong to London because he would probably prefer London over Manchester. But I don't. There's still reports that they're going to go for Frankie De Jong no matter what.
Mm.
The Glazers have apparently, I don't know if this is true, but they've apparently greenlit like whatever it takes for Ten Hag to bring in the players he needs. I mean, again, there's like a few days left before the window closes. Like, why wasn't this the case in the beginning? And also, how do you go? We have to sign Frankie De Jong. Okay, Frankie De Jong doesn't seem like anything's happening there. Let's try and sign Adrian Rabiot.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, Adrian Rabiot wants like enormous, like incredible wages, astounding wages. Okay, no to Rabiot. Let's just go for Casemiro. Like, what? It's like that's so odd. Makes no sense whatsoever. And like, I don't think Casemiro is a terrible signing. He's a very
Look,
good player,
he's got.
but
Look, he's better than what you have. Let's be clear. I
he is.
think.
But he's 31, and like he's won everything, much like Rafa Varane. Won everything there is to win. What's his motivation? A big payday, probably.
Yeah.
So he might even have like Rafael Varane's first season where he was just like injured half the time, or they're not told like the signings we made last season was like that was like one of the best transfer windows I've experienced as a fan in a long time because we made
Mm.
amazing signings. We signed
Yeah.
Varane, we signed Jadon Sancho, and we signed Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay,
Mm.
all three of those signings you could argue were flops. I mean, I know Ronaldo scored 24 goals, but like he kind of almost solves the problems that he creates. But Ronaldo's another issue entirely.
Mm.
Varane missed about 17 games last season, was barely there.
That's hectic.
Sancho was just a very, very mild, weak performance-wise season from him. And he's carried that form. So it just didn't work out. Like whenever we make a signing, it just fails. Like I can't
Mm.
remember a signing we made that was like a huge success. You could say maybe Bruno, but Bruno's also we had a terrible season last season. He was completely ineffective. So
Yeah.
we got no strategy, no transfer strategy. We don't have a director of football with like the nous and
Yeah.
the street smarts who can operate, with the best of them. He's kind of just learning on the job. We don't. There's no clarity as to like, okay, what's our budget? Like what are the profiles we're gonna? Apparently, got a massive scouting department, and they suggest all kinds of amazing players that we just never sign. N'Golo
Mm.
Kante was suggested to us, we never went signed. So like every other club in the Premier League has a better midfield than us, but like why they've got like a tenth of the budget we have. Why do they have better
Yeah.
players? So like it's just a baffling club and run by morons, man. Like honestly, it's not that hard to like identify what the problems are, and that's why I think Ralph Ragnick was let go because he was supposed to have this consultancy to like assist with the rebuild, but he was very, very frank and candid in his
Maybe
relationship
they
with the
didn't like
media.
that.
They didn't
Maybe
like it, so
they didn't like that. So
yeah,
they told the guy, "Nah, you must go, bruh."
yeah, I'm sure the Glades were like, "Nah, this guy,
Because
he's
there
just
was
hanging
something
out
very
at the dry."
interesting. There was something very interesting that I went to go read up about him. Because obviously you can find everything now online, and there's always these old video clips, and I think he mentioned it. He said that it's not impossible for United to catch up to Liverpool and Man City, right? It's not, it doesn't take, so maybe not going to take 6 years. It might take maybe 5 to 6 transfer windows, right? That if you get your right recruit, because I think that is where a lot of the top clubs now, at least the well-run clubs, are really getting it right in the recruitment area, right? I mean, like the one thing is take for example, beginning of the year of the season, like this is not even before Ronaldo came with his shit. It was like United and Liverpool were in for Darwin Nunez. Um, Now, okay, he might have in any case gone to Liverpool because he wanted to play Champions League, right? But the thing is, we tend to be like, this is what we want. We'll go in for him, and if we can't get that player, we will not sign anyone just for the sake of it. We will wait, like we did with Van Dijk. Okay, Southampton doesn't want to sell him for us this at the end of that season. We'll wait half a season and then we'll give them more money because then there were like relegation worries and that kind of stuff. So it's always been like that with Liverpool. I feel that's been one of the biggest changes I think over the last 7 years. I think since Liverpool has really gone through this thing with Klopp now. There's really been
Sorry,
this
just maybe can
transfer
you just make sure that he's not on
strategy.
stuff? Sorry, yeah.
It's like finding these little gems in the bottom leagues, like these up and coming players like
Yeah,
Jota
you
or
moneyball
Rocky,
your transfer targets,
money
right?
balling, right? But they're
Yeah.
not afraid to put money down when the right player comes along, like Allison or Van Dijk. So,
But
so
you
that's
but you also sold Coutinho for that money to be available. Like
yeah,
you had the eye to be like, okay, Coutinho not worth 150 million. We're
not
gonna
at
put that
all.
price tag on him. So that's gonna be like the catalyst for us to sign these two like game changing players for us. So yeah, you're much better, and that guy Michael Edwards is
Yeah,
way better up right now.
yeah. But I
That's
think
John so
like here's one thing I can say, just on the whole thing and why I think United, though it gives fills me with immense joy and pleasure to see it your club doing it wrong so many times at so many levels, right? But the only thing I can say, right, I remember when Klopp came in, and I was quite disappointed. Brendan Rodgers had taken us so far, but you always knew that Brendan Rodgers was just not that level. He was just he spoke the game. He was a student of the game, and he had done all these things, but he was just not that level. And I think Ten Hag is that level. I think Ten Hag can take that step. My only concern is the moment is that he will, especially in the British media, they love to build you up, but they love to take you down, right? And I fear that tomorrow night's game is like like he needs a result. Like he needs, even if it is a draw, like he cannot lose tomorrow night to Liverpool. And most importantly, he cannot lose 4-0 again. Not at all.
no.
He at least that for me is where I kind of like feel like he's trying, and this is the thing, he's trying to instill a way of playing. Let's take last week's game against Brentford, for example, where I was watching it and I was like, okay, De Gea's first mistake, okay, that was I remember I told you about De Gea, right? I said to you long ago, I said he's a great shot stopper, but any new coach is going to want to play out from the back. He's going to struggle with that. And so you saw that last week where, like, bypass it to Ericsson. Ericsson's got like two brasses around him, and I'm thinking, just go long. Just relieve the pressure off your back line. Just go for it. And they still try to play. And I was like, okay, Ten Hag has got like a lot of work to do with these ladies here. But most
There's no.
importantly,
It doesn't seem to be a plan B. You're gonna need a good plan B fast.
Results is all that philosophy, philosophy, it doesn't matter. Results, especially if your expectation is to get into that fourth spot, he's gonna have to find a way with this team that he's got at the moment to find a way to win. Even if just till the next transfer window, just to kind of like give him a bit of cushion. Because I think that if he's thinking that it's just going to be about let me just do what I did at Ajax. At Ajax, he had Van der Sar, he had Overmars, he had a whole system and an operational side of football that supported that. United needs to rebuild to build that. So I think from his side, and if he's smart, and I think he's a smart coach, he will have to be a little bit more pragmatic with it and say, listen, okay, what I've got to do here. Every coach that I've seen at United have persisted with Frederick McTominay. I don't know why that is, but probably maybe there isn't anybody better currently that can play with him. So there's a lot of these kind of like, but because if I look at the United team on paper, I'm like Sancho, fucking Rashford, okay, man, Sancho, Rashford, Ronaldo, Bruno Mars. I'm just calling Bruno Mars, Bruno Fernandez. I'm like those four are people that have represented the country at international level. These are fucking ballers, right?
Not bad players, yeah.
They're not bad players. They're maybe they're just so low on confidence at the moment that everything they do turns to shit. Every ball they touch flies over 100 yards that way. So how does a coach then go and can you coach these players? Like can you coach Rashford into a world class striker again?
You can coach, you can take it the players' ingredients, their ability, and you can coach that. But I think it takes a special kind of skill as a manager to instill that kind of self belief, the way Ferguson did. Like
Mm.
you would run through walls for him. Mourinho's the same. Like they have that kind of ability to.
Messiah like figures, right?
I don't know if it's Messiah like figures. It's more about like because Ferguson wasn't the same with every player. Like he knew which players he had to have a firm hand with, and some players he had to be delicate with. Like Cantona, he had to be delicate. He had to give him some freedoms that he didn't afford the rest of the players.
Mm.
So um, it's all about knowing people's characters and personalities and how to utilize that and how to like let them put that out there on the pitch. So I'm not sure like if Ten Hag is any good at that part. I know he's a very good tactical brain, and he's a bit of a technocrat. He doesn't have any charisma. I don't think like some of the best United coaches had charisma. Even dating back to like Tommy Doherty in the 70s, slept with the team physio's wife. But I really I hope Ten Hag gets a result. Of course I do, because it's Liverpool and we need points. But I don't think I don't think the club nor the fans will be calling for his head. Some idiots on Twitter maybe, but I don't think it's that we're calling for his head to be losers tomorrow. I think we are going to lose. Like, come on, like let's be real. Not suddenly going to find a performance from
No, look,
somewhere.
I mean, I, I,
And
I, I gotta tell you, man. Yeah, I think it's a lot closer than you think. I think if I'm looking at Liverpool the last two games, I think we've got like a little mini injury crisis as well. And for some reason, you could see it in preseason, some things were just not clicking. They were just not connecting yet.
but like the thing, like before the season started, like there's a whole bunch of football sites that I visit, and like a lot of them do season predictions, like who's going to finish top four, who's going to get relegated, and blah blah blah. Everybody had Liverpool as either to be champions or to be number two. I actually think you might fall out of the top two this season
Mhm.
because you played every single possible game you could possibly play last season. That's an unimaginable amount of football. And you went hard in all of them, the way Klopp plays.
Mm.
Like the Gegenpress. That's a very demanding style of football. And you've played like yeah, every possible game you could play, you went as far as you can go in every competition. So that takes its toll. These players are gonna break. It's not surprising to me that you have this injury crisis right now because you need a break from that, like, and you probably need a much bigger squad than what you have if you want to like go as
Play
far as you
that
can in every
that level of
competition.
intensity.
Another thing, another thing, another thing. One of the best players in the league left. So I don't think like you've replaced that. You've got in some good signings and you've got good players in that position, but I don't think those signings are as good as Sadio Mane is. So that's gonna be like a difference maker, I believe. I mean,
Mm.
obviously I could be wrong, but I actually wouldn't be surprised to see Liverpool finish third or fourth.
I don't think I can agree with you. I don't think we'll win it this season. But there is a funny thing. There's a funny year this year. Um, it's a World Cup in the middle of the season. I don't know what kind of effect that's going to have on those clubs who have players who are all playing at an international level. I think this season is going to be a little bit of a shake up of the status quo. At least when I think of like it's too early to tell like whether or not, for example, Arsenal is going to do anything because it's Arsenal, and you can always depend on them to bottle it really at the end when they need to actually just get through. The same with Spurs, though I do feel maybe this season Spurs do have a bit of bottle to them. I think there's something in them with Conte. Chelsea as well. Everybody just feels little apart from City. Like everybody feels like they're going through issues. Like they've all got like traumas and stuff like that. So I mean, the one thing I was kind of like hoping on was that okay, Guardiola would maybe Haaland would take some time to bed in, and they would like fuck it up. No, it's just they're just carrying on where they left off. So I'm like, and we already drew 2 games, and last season one of the reasons why we lost, we drew too many games. Like we drew too many. We drew 8 games, bro, and we lost the league by like a point or something like that. So that's always been our kind of like thing. And I think for me again, I think I feel it's very much going to be similar on the cards. Like tomorrow night's game or the game at Old Trafford tomorrow, it really is going to be. I think there's going to be a reaction. I think your players are going to come out tomorrow night, and I think you're going to get a result. You might not win, but I think it'll be 3 draws on the
But
bounce.
Siraj, but, but you say that whenever United play, and what did we do last season? You scored 9 goals against us, and we didn't score a single one. I mean,
No,
but
but
we don't bring it, even if this group of
But
players,
you have to.
they
Like,
don't
at
have
some
any
point in you,
fucking
you
heart.
have to be like, these guys, these millionaires will show up. If there's one game of the season that you will be like, yo, listen, you have to show us why you earn this amount of money. Show us why you wear that jersey. You're playing at home. I expect it. I expect a response from United tomorrow. And I'm sure Klopp is also going, these guys are coming up like animals tomorrow night, and you got to be ready. I just don't
Not gonna
think
happen.
I
Not
I
gonna
just feel
happen.
like hmm?
I
Come
don't
on.
have any
You have
faith
to.
that United will rise to the occasion and fight like animals because we've been here several times before and they've rolled over like dead end and like fucking pussycats who want their bellies rubbed. Like United did not have the fight. This group of players did not have the fight. Fred and McTominay in midfield, they can't they they can't do the press, and they are easily pressed off the ball.
Mm,
So like they're just not fit for purpose.
mm,
And like Marcus Rashford can't buy a goal or assist or a good performance from anywhere. Same with Jadon Sancho. Cristiano Ronaldo hates being there because he's in a losing team. He's a serial winner. Bruno Fernandes throws his arms up for everything. Wants to. He's been. I think actually his performances have been quite shit over the last year or so. So he tries to make up for it by like trying to lead a one-man press. Doesn't work. Rafael Varane's always injured. Harry
Mm.
Maguire's confidence is shot to shit. I don't think
Harry
that's ever coming back.
Maguire. I love that meme.
Luke Shaw is shit. Wan Bissaka is shit. Dalot is shit. I like the look of Tyrell Malacia. So
Yeah, I was gonna
we
ask him
will
about it.
see.
Like,
Um,
he should start tomorrow night, right? I would think
nah,
like
I don't think so.
if I was
I
Liverpool,
wouldn't
I want Luke
be.
Shaw to start.
Yeah, I know. If I was Mo Salah, I would want Luke Shaw to start. But I don't think Ten Hag will throw Malacia. He's a bit too inexperienced for that kind of fixture. So I
Mm.
think we'll see Luke Shaw again. But but I do like David
Okay,
De
but
Gea's
what
performance
about
last
Lisandro
season.
Martinez? There's been a lot of chat about him and his height. I don't necessarily think that's an issue for me.
Uh,
But you know how people are. It's the Premier League. Was he the right signing? What is your thoughts on him?
I actually like the look of him too. I think he's
Mm,
gonna be one of our better players. The height thing, I mean, Brentford targeted United. They targeted the press, or they targeted playing out from the back because our players are just uncomfortable doing that. So, and they played with Christian Eriksen for half the season last year. So they
mm,
know what he's good at and what he's not good at. And they targeted Martinez because Ivan Tony is that kind of striker. I think that kind of striker is making a comeback, eh? The big man up top. Because
hmm.
you guys have got Darwin Nunes, Ivan
Yeah,
Tony
yeah.
at Brentford, um, Calvert Lewin whenever he's like not injured at Everton, um, and there's like one other like really big guy up top as well at some club, but I can't think of now. But that's that style
Haaland.
of like old school. Yeah,
Haaland.
exactly. Haaland, yeah. So that like big bully who's gonna like bully defenders, that's making a comeback. And unfortunately, like look, I don't think Lisandro Martinez was our biggest problem last week. So, and
Mm,
I think he's very tenacious. I think we need that, and he's got a good relationship with Tenach, so
mm.
I think it'll
Okay,
be fine. Um,
okay.
but yeah, I mean, none of the signings we made has like really excited me. Frankie would have excited me, but that's not going
Mm,
to happen.
mm. Okay, just
Casemiro
on
doesn't
this.
excite me because yeah,
So what I wanted to ask you on this, right? We're gonna probably wrap it up now. So I wanted to ask you, Clee, if there was one more signing that you would love to make, okay, to put Frankie De Jong aside, who would that be? Like, if for you to be like, you know what, I can deal with this. If you go in for Declan Rice, United just spunk all the money on God,
I actually
which
met
you probably
Declan
should have
Rice
done
last week.
already. But let's say, is there a signing that you still hope before in this next 10 days that United could still make that would make you feel a lot better than what you
Well,
know?
United are going to try and sign absolutely everyone in the next few days. There's talk of Anthony. They really want Anthony.
I can
Um,
see that.
they had 80 million pound bid rejected. 80 million for Anthony, and it's Ajax.
I actually
So
taking the
like
piss.
they really want to keep him.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, like he doesn't have great numbers, but maybe he can improve. I don't actually think we'll get him. I think we'll go for the cheap option, who's the Cody Gakpo at PSV. It's all just Dutch players or former Ajax players, eh? Kind of worrying.
But what is that? But that tells you exactly where Ten Hag is at. He's like, I don't trust what these people from the scouting department, or they cannot get these deals done. I know these players. I know that if I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go down on my terms with my players. That means absolutely jack all for United, because if he goes, then you have the same problem. You have these players from different coaches. I mean, there's players from Mourinho's era. There's still players from fucking Van Gaal era. There's players from Ollie's era. You end up with this smorgasbord of like just things
We
that are
don't
running
we
around,
we don't have a CDM. We don't have
right?
a fit for purpose central defensive midfielder. Nemanja Matic left, but he was like a million years old by the time he left. And he was super slow. So Casemiro is now here. I mean, he hasn't been announced yet, but he's now here. Hopefully, like that solves a massive problem that we have. I hope he
Mm,
stays fit. There'll be more midfield. Hopefully, another midfield signing. But they're gonna still go for Frankie, but Frankie's not gonna come. It's just not gonna happen. There's actually there's like I said, other Premier League clubs have really very good midfielders, defensive midfielders. Like, why didn't we sign Moises Caicedo from Brighton, or even
Mm.
Yves Bissouma? Why didn't
Mm.
we sign Yves Bissouma, and why did Spurs sign? There's a guy at Palace. I know we signed players from Palace. We signed Wan-Bissaka and Zaha, but uh, Eze, he's a very good player. I think he's one of their best players.
Oh.
Eze, he's a central defensive midfielder there as well. I mean, like, there's a lot of, like, you say Declan Rice. Declan Rice is going to cost like 160 million. Like, that's not the type of signings we should be making.
Mm.
Like, we need smart signings. Why don't you make a 20 million pound bid on that Eze guy? See what happens.
Mm. Mm.
We're even selling Jimmy Garner, who was an academy product, who played at Nottingham Forest last year, got promoted with them. We're selling him for like 15 million pounds. Like, that makes no sense to me. Because, like, there's literally other players in the same profiles going for 40, 50 million between other Premier League clubs.
That's
Like
mad.
Nottingham
And this
Forest bought a guy
gentleman,
from
he
Wolves.
he had a bit of hype behind him as well, right? There's some I think he played a couple of times. Did he play sometimes last year? I can't remember.
No, he played at Forest last year. He was
Okay,
on
played
loan at
Forest.
Forest.
Okay.
But yeah, he got promoted, and the championship is a difficult league, right? Like, it's very, very demanding. I think you play like 44 games. So to get
Yeah.
promoted is quite a feat. But look, I don't know. Maybe he's not good enough. Maybe Ten Hag had a look at him in training and went, "Nah, not for me." But, like, if you're gonna sell him for some real money. Sell
Yeah.
him for 15 million. Like, what the fuck? But the only player we sold on for a profit who we signed. You know who that player was? Dan James. That's the one player we sold for a profit.
I don't know Dan James though. He was
Yeah.
like, the one that you could do, like, he
God,
was
he was
fast.
rubbish.
But Mo Salah still outran him. He was fast, but Mo Salah still killed him. Hey, let's end it off quickly here. I want to hear quickly predictions for tomorrow night. You've got an IKEA couch to build. I've got a lighty downstairs that still needs to be given diet and stuff like that. So, your score predictions for tomorrow night.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't like saying this. I don't like saying or even thinking this, but I think we'll. No, what?
What do
What's
you
your
What do you
prediction?
think? No, I was gonna say what your heart feels, Keenan.
3-0. We're gonna lose
Oh,
3-0.
3-0. I didn't hear you. My apologies.
Yeah,
3-0 to United.
yeah. No, 3-0 to Liverpool. I don't have any faith for a result tomorrow. So.
Oh, I think you'll score, but it'll be 3-1. That'll be
That's another thing. We can't score.
I think you'll score. I think you'll score. I think you'll score first. But I reckon once Liverpool equalize, then all resistance, or at least when we go ahead, all resistance will crumble. But it's a 3-1.
I think tomorrow is gonna be a fucking occasion. It's gonna be like it's
Gonna be
gonna
tough,
be a
man.
thing. You can't look away. Even if we get another 4-0 hiding, you just know, like, the fallout from that, and the protests, like, social media is gonna be just on fire. And that's the thing about being a United fan, I guess. It's like you're sucked in, you're so engaged all the time, and it's not good,
It
but you
feels
still
toxic
keep
though,
coming back.
right?
It's very toxic, but you still keep coming back because it's your club. You like,
Mm.
and also there's another thing about being a fan. You have to take the pain when it's painful. You should know you went through decades of pain. Only now it's good.
How can I forget, Keenan? How can I forget the Roy Hodgson here? Just by the way, if you're watching this mofo here, never forget this mofo. The peak of
But
Sir Alex Ferguson's 2013, 20 Premier League
it
titles,
has, you
13
were shit.
Fergie.
Let's have it right. You were shit before Roy Hodgson. You were
Yeah, of
shit
course.
under Roy Evans. And I
It's been
think you
shit
were a bit.
for a very long time.
I
Like
still think you were a bit shit under Hooli as well. I know you won like 5 cups with him or something, but like you weren't
even
very
under
good.
Rafa,
Uh,
I don't ever feel like even under Rafa, I was like, I mean, yeah, we won a Champions League, but that was like the gods of whatever, just having an off night, and Liverpool somehow claw their way back to three, and
I think
then
you won an FA Cup with him as well. So
yeah, but okay, but
you
you
were
know
a good
what?
captain.
Yeah, a good cup team, but you know what? We want Premier League, man. That's the only thing that matters for us. Okay, so Keenan, you saying 3-0. I say it's gonna be a 3-1 score. I reckon United's gonna score first, but I think it's gonna be a great game. I hope it's a good game, man. I
You know what
hope
I want to
United
see?
turns up. I hope Liverpool turns up.
I
People
wouldn't
are
mind
flying
it
in
being
there.
crazy, even if we don't get the result. I hope it's crazy. I hope like someone puts a fucking tackle in on someone, gets us like an immediate red. Like I want like blood and thunder tomorrow. If we can't get 3 points or 1 point, I at least want something like that. Probably won't get it though.
Yeah, and if it comes, the red card will probably be like who'd be most liable? Harry Maguire. I think Harry Maguire would run
There's
in with that
reports that
face on his
Chelsea
arm.
want him.
Huh?
There's reports that Chelsea want him.
That's
If
very
they don't
interesting.
get Wesley Fofana, if they don't get Wesley Fofana, which they probably will, then Harry Maguire is like the backup option.
Why? Why? Oh man, that
You
guy's
know
got a
what's the
good
problem? The
agent.
big problem with Maguire. But you know what the problem? The main problem is with Harry Maguire. Even despite the fact that he's the worst United captain I've ever seen, he can't play in a team that is chasing trophies, playing the style of football where you need to camp out on the halfway line as a
Mm,
defensive line and you just attack, attack, attack. Possession based football. He's
mm,
cuck. He's shit on the turn. He can't. He
mm.
turns like a tank. You know. And if it's
That's
like a
pretty well.
one-on-one foot chase, he's not quick enough for that type of game. He's very good playing Leicester type of football or like some middling team where you camped in your box and you just
Mm.
like heading balls out and
Yeah,
like
all
that
day,
type of
every day.
defense. Yeah, but he's not a top team trophy hunting type of defender, and that's
Mm.
the main issue. And I don't know why coaches can't see that. I don't know why. That was like one of the worst pieces of business we've ever done. £80 million in Aaron Maguire.
Hey, and you guys ripped us, huh? 75 for Van Dijk. What a worst signing.
But
Okay.
our Maguire was supposed to be Van Dijk. That's why we paid so much for him. It's all relative.
True. Hey, Keaton, my bro, thank you so much. This has been like a chatting to you, man. I try to keep it to an hour or so because we can obviously talk on to forever and forever. But but this was a lot of fun, man. I don't
Yeah,
always get to see it from the perspective of United fans. I'm trying to be objective here. I'm trying to listen to another United fan without going in there and like just jamming in. He's just sticking in the finger into other supporters.
before we go, can I just say one thing? My suspicion with you Liverpool fans is that you would much rather have us out there challenging you than you would Manchester City or Arsenal, Chelsea, or even Newcastle. You would hate to see United like erode into the dust
Oh, of course
because you
not.
you at your peak you want us going head to toe with you. You want to be winning trophies at our
Exactly.
expense. So
Ex-
I don't really feel.
exactly, bro.
I feel more
Exactly.
sympathy.
It's
I get more
it's the
sympathy than I
same. It's
get
the
like.
same why United fans would rather see City win because there's nothing in it, right? If City wins, like okay, but until maybe City gets to like 15 or something, then I think United will start to kind of like go. But as long as it's not Liverpool, I think
Yeah.
it's
But also,
happy.
Also, Liverpool's a real football club. City is
Hmm.
not. They're not a real football club. It's like. But
Yeah, no,
anyways,
I mean, you I can see why you say that, but I can also be like, look, as a team, that City team is pretty fucking special. They're pretty good. They are pretty good. They are,
yeah,
and
and
now
Pep,
they've just
Pep I think
gotten
is
better.
probably the best. I think Pep's
They
probably the
are.
best
It's
manager in the
levels,
world.
guys. It's levels. It's levels. But like I said, um, there's no talk about Liverpool and City being rivals. It's always been United. It always will be. In terms of trophies, in terms of history, in terms of fan base, in so many kind of like things. It's United, Liverpool.
Even
It
the
always will
cities are
be.
rivals. Like it's rival cities, like
Yeah,
historical city rivalry.
yeah. Yeah, but think about that, right? It's like the biggest English derby. It's not City and United. It's Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, maybe you can throw in someone like Arsenal and Spurs, but I think the biggest rival in English football is still Liverpool United, and that is what I'm looking forward to tomorrow night, man. Don't worry, there's an embargo on it. If anybody gets trashed, I will wait a week before I start sending memes your way.
I've
I'm feeling
seen and
very
heard it
generous,
all
very
before,
generous. Hey, Keenan, thanks a lot, Gazi, man.
Yeah,
Go ahead and
yeah.
enjoy making
Thanks for the
your IKEA cupboard.
conversation, man.
Liquor, man.
Yep.
And again, let's do it again. For the return
Yeah.
fixture. But who knows? Maybe we get each other in the. I don't know where we'll get each other. Probably one of the cup
League
competitions. That
Cup.
would be liquor.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Champions League, and then I was like, no, Siraj,
May-
don't be.
No, maybe we drop out of the Champions League and you meet us in the Europa. You drop in the group stage. But yeah, you guys are broken. You play too much football.
I think so. But I think I just hope this I just want 3 points, man. I don't care if it's 1-0 or 5-0. For us tomorrow night is for us to get
I would
our
take a
campaign
1-0,
going.
to be honest.
I would take a 1-0. No, I would take a 1-0 too because I just want 3 points. I just don't want us to be 7 points behind City before we even hit September, man. Come on now. Come
It's
on now.
mad that football is such a funny game. Like if we by hook or by crook win tomorrow, we go above you in the table.
I can't. I
So
just can't. I just can't.
it's so bizarre.
I just
Anyways,
can't.
thanks a lot, my friend. I will. Yeah, we'll talk maybe after the game. Like we'll
Cool.
do
We'll
a
do that
post
then,
mortem.
huh? It's safe, my bro. Take
Safe,
care.
dude. Say hi to the
Peace.
fam.
We'll do. Bye bye. So there you have it. An old red, an old friend of mine, Keenan Daniels. Yeah, it's interesting. I think tomorrow night's going to be a pretty good game. Like I said, I just care about getting that 3 points and mostly for my own sanity. I do not want the season to go on any longer with us not having to having gotten a win. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This, of course, is another one of these yeah, kind of like talks that I'm putting together. Let's grow this channel. I'd really like to see this channel get to 100 subs. So if you're watching this and you've managed to sit through that whole conversation, you deserve 500 billion points for that, and that's coming in the mail. And to get that, please like, share, and subscribe. Make it happen, and let's go on this journey together. Come on, you Reds! Let's get them. Let's kill United. Peace out. Have a good day. Bye.